Hello everyone, it's me Shamilo, and in today's video, I will be trying to predict the next refines for Fire Emblem Heroes, the 6.4.0 update. Now, the following units being Selkie, Aversa, Tibarn, Spring, Veronica, and Yulgar are going to be getting a refine in the next update pack. And I'm really excited to see, and I'm also having some predictions right now. So this is what this video is about. I'm here to show you what I personally think that these units could actually get for their refines. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First on the list is Selkie, Free Spirit. She is one of our first ever Cavalry Beast units in the game. She was also kind of interesting with her Foxcut Fang, but also her stats were kind of weird because she had high speed and high res for a melee unit who is a physical unit. But she has 29 attack and 19 defense. We're talking about base stats, by the way. Like, these stats are really low offensively. However, her speed is great. Just, as a beast and as a melee unit, those are the same thing, you kind of need to be a little bit more offensive and also more bulky for that kind of stats. That's why Selkie was also an interesting unit in the fact, because her Foxy Fang would grant her a bonus to all of her stats if her res was higher than foe's res and if the foe was also melee. Now, this is basically worded as if she had 16 more res than a melee foe, she would gain plus 8 to all of her stats. Now, that alone is actually good, but it's kind of very restrictive, and if you're fighting anything ranged, it's gonna just turn out weird. So that's why with her refine, I wanted to change her up entirely. So at start of combat, if her res is higher than foe's res, or if foe's HP is 75% or higher, she gains plus 4 to all of her stats, and then a bonus to all of her stats based on 80% of the difference between her res and foe's res. Now this alone is still the same thing. Now, the fact that it's a new condition, being the 75% HP or higher, that alone makes it to where the condition is also easier to trigger, because nowadays, like, a lot of units could have a lot more res than you would think, because 38 res, it could still hold up, but it's kind of questionable. Now, getting the plus 4 to all stats just for having more res, or if the foe is 75% or higher, that alone will actually improve her like that. It will simply improve her just that simple. However, the 80% of difference between res stats is gonna increase it even more, making it, if she had 10 more res than the foe, it would be a total of 12 attack, speed, defense, and res. Because this alone can go up to 8, and then the original 4 makes it 12. Now, as you can see for the transformation effect, I did not improve it. Because if you look at New Year Liar, hers did not get improved either. So I kept it the same for the sake of consistency. But additionally now, for her refine, at start of combat, if unit's HP is 25% or higher, grants attack speed, defense, res plus 4 to unit during combat, and reduces damage from foe's first attack during combat by 30%. This is kind of a reference to her New Year version where she can reduce damage if she had more res, except this is straight up, no res condition. It's just if her HP is 25% higher, she can reduce damage. She kind of needs that too, because her defense is kind of low and she's going to probably fight a lot of physical units, or at least that was her main intention with the base effect. So yeah, this is just a complete upgrade on its own. But that's not it. At start of combat, if her HP is 25% or higher, while transformed, she will calculate damage using low foe's defense or res, and after combat, if she attacked, she deals 7 damage to target and foes within 2 spaces after combat. Now, this is kind of a reference to her personal skill called Playthings, which at start of her turn, she would deal 5 damage to adjacent allies, or not allies, adjacent enemies. Now, this is not the same thing, obviously, because this is not the start of turn, this is not adjacent, this is a Savage Blow effect, but I feel like that's a better thing for her, considering that she's a cavalry and she's a beast as well. You're gonna mainly want to be offensive with these kinds of units. So giving her this effect would actually help her out a lot, especially the adaptive damage, considering her attack is 29 base, and you add the 14 might with the attack plus 2 from the transformation, that only brings her up to 45 attack base. Now giving her a total of 16 more attacks, or plus 16 to all of her stats, that would simply just make her really powerful. Gaining a total of 61 attack, plus a lot more stats. I don't know exactly from the top of my head, but this would actually help her out a lot, because she really does need it. Up next, we got a Versa. Now we can all agree that a Versa has been pretty much everywhere when she came out, because of her personal weapon called the Versa's Knight, which is basically Sudden Panic 2 with an attack speed defense that's -3 penalty on top of that. Because Sudden Panic inflicts panic on any foe that has less HP than them, and it's also adjacent to another foe. This is the same idea, except there's also a penalty on top of that. Now, this still is a great effect because she has a lot of HP. She has 42 base HP. It's not the highest ever, but she came with HP speed 2, which gives her more speed, and HP. Now, I want to kind of upgrade her like a lot, because her main intention, without the refine obviously, just like before the refine, was to be very supportive. But I feel like with intelligent systems, they want to make units tend to do both, not just be supportive but also be offensive in a way, which is what I've done with this refine exactly. Now at the start of turn, if any foe's HP is lower than unit's HP, and this is no HP difference, there's no -3, there's no nothing, this is true. If she just has 1 more HP than a foe, and that foe is adjacent to another foe, it will inflict attack speed difference -5 instead of 3, and panic on that foe through the next actions. This alone would be a huge upgrade. Sudden Panic 3 instead of 2, and then -5 instead of 3. That alone is a very good supportive effect. Now additionally, for a base effect, if she initiates combat, or if she's within 2 space of an ally, she will inflict attack speed res -4 on foe during combat. This will simply just help her be more alone, or not alone exactly, but this would help her out more offensively, because like I said, IS tends to make these units not only just supportive, but also tend to make them more universal in a way. So she gets that, and then she can do stuff by herself as well, instead of relying on the allies to benefit from effects like catch or other effects. Now additionally, for a refine at start of combat, if her HP is 25% or higher, she will inflict attack speed difference -4 on foe, and then a penalty based on any penalty they have. This is basically the Pelagian effect, or what Male Morgan or Legendary Gunther has. This is the same refine. I feel like this would be perfect, considering it's a Versa. She kind of is in the same league of Pelagian, so this would actually just work out perfectly. You know what I mean? Considering that she inflicts a -5 penalty on foes if the conditions are met, she will actually inflict -18 attack speed res and 14 defense if all the conditions are met in the way that's worded. Because that alone would just make her just a lot better than just being supportive. Because if we were looking back at her old self, the supportive role would only help her out with -3 to foe. This alone would do -5 and panic on foes for any ally, but this would give her 18, like -18 attack speed res. Up third is Tibarn. Now Tibarn is our first ever beast unit that has been introduced. He's also our first ever flying beast unit to be introduced. He used to be very, very good, mainly because of the fact that his weapon gives him a guaranteed follow-up attack if he initiated against a foe who's at full HP. But that's not the only thing, obviously, because also he has a lot of attack. He has 38 base attack. He doesn't have a super boon, sadly, but considering that his weapon grants more attack, and has high might anyways, because that's how it works. He simply is very strong. He also came with sturdy impact, which is our first ever impact skill, which got a lot of people to think that this could be a very good skill back in the day, and it still is very great. And I feel like giving him a refine would actually be the best thing ever for him, because even though even though he's not as great as he was before, he can still hold up in the meta a little bit, because this could work actually. But the refine could change that entirely. Now for his base effect, I kind of changed it a lot. Now if he initiates combat or if foe's HP is 75% or higher, I just want to pause right there. Immediately it's different. Instead of being if foe's HP is 100% and unit initiates combat, now it's two separate effects. If he initiates, or if foe has 75% HP or higher. But now, if any of the conditions are met, he will gain attack +5. He will inflict attack -5 on foe, and he will make a guaranteed follow-up attack. This is just simply a mini Spendthrift effect on top of what he already has. This would simply make him even more offensive than he already was. Now for his refine, at start of combat, if his HP is 25% or higher, he gains +5 attack, and he inflicts attack -5 on foe during combat, and then, if his attack is higher than foe's attack, he will deal damage based on 70% of the difference between stats, and then reduces damage from foe's attacks by 70% of that difference, up to 7. Now, you can already tell, this is basically what Flow Flight is, except there's no follow-up in this effect, or this portion of the effect specifically. Instead, it's an attack condition, and it also gives more attack difference, because it grants you more attack and inflicts attack. So this is already going to do a lot of things for him. Now additionally, if his HP is 25% or higher while being transformed, he neutralizes effects that prevent his follow-up attacks, meaning that he can actually gain the full Flow Flight ability that is attack based, obviously. But this could honestly make him a very offensive unit, and it could make him even more dangerous than before. Giving himself 10 attack, inflicting attack -7 or attack -10 on foe, and then dealing +7 damage, receiving +7 less damage, having half no follow-up and a guaranteed follow-up attack, then he would simply just be ridiculous. And he already was kind of ridiculous back in the day, so this refine could bring him back, and I'm hoping he does, because he used to be one of the greatest units back then. Up next, we got Spring Verona. Now, a lot of people seem to like her, and I can kind of see why. She had very good stats at 39 speed, or should I say 36 without a weapon, but let's go with the weapon, obviously. 39 speed and 49 attack. For a flying mage, she was actually pretty offensive. And then her weapon would give her +4 to all of her stats if her HP was 75% or higher. Now, she was actually pretty good. Her weapon was also pretty good. So this honestly made her, this is honestly really good. I can't say much about it because, this is like, it's very old. It's like very old effect, but it still is really good, I can't say much about it because, refines could change it entirely. Which I really actually did, because now at the start of turn, if she's in 2 spaces of an ally, she gains +6 to all of her stats for 1 turn. Now, this actually would make her ridiculous, because this is not even including the +4 to all stats from having HP or something. This is straight up, if you're close to your allies, you get +6 to all of your stats, all of them, +6 even, for 1 turn. Now obviously, panic is an issue, and I can understand that, but yeah, the refund makes up for that. But anyways, let's not get too far ahead. If her HP is at 25% or higher at start of combat, she gains +4 to all stats. Now, immediately, the HP condition is a lot easier. It's 25% instead of 75%. Now, additionally, she can actually get +6 to all of her stats for simply being next to or being close to an ally. So yeah, and obviously you're gonna think panic, like all these effects would obviously just harm her a lot. which is what I've done with the Refine. If she's within 3 spaces of an ally, she gains +4 to all stats, and then she gets a bonus to those stats equal to current any penalty on them ×2. This is basically an extended Unity ability. This is what a Spectrum Unity, but it's 3 spaces instead of 2. This would give her +14 to all of her stats and a Unity effect. For just like that, simple. If her HP is 25% or higher, she's within 2 spaces of an ally at the start of turn, and then she's within 3 spaces of an ally during combat. This would bring her back immediately, +14 to all of her stats. That's gonna be ridiculous if you think about it, because that's 53 speed for a flying green mage. And you could obviously change that A skill because it's not up to date anymore. Dual skills, tier 3 dual skills are just like, no, they're not great anymore. But you give her something else like Swift Sparrow or Swift Sparrow 3 or, you know, anything. She could, you know, yeah, legit, she could honestly be ridiculous. Just think about the potential. Up last, we got Yogurt. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I actually liked Yogurt back in the day. I don't know if many people like Yogurt because of she's kind of annoying or something, but what she was able to do back then was ridiculous. Because her Cersei Blade, if she was adjacent to an ally, she can if she was adjacent to a magic ally, being a tome obviously, she calculates damage using the lower foe's defense and res. Now, obviously, that skill is not great anymore because, yeah, there's no point to it anymore. But the one thing that made her stand out was her weapon, which was if she had more speed than the foe, she would gain +4 attack and speed. Now, that effect may seem very mild, but think about it. If she just had 1 more speed than the foe, she gains +4 attack and speed. You obviously need 5 more speed to be able to make a follow-up attack against someone. And considering that she gains 4 more after having more speed, she just simply needed 1 more speed to actually make a follow-up attack, and this is why I liked her so much. And I want to make sure that she stays that way. So now, if her speed is higher than foe's speed, or if foe's HP is 75% or higher at the start of combat, she gains +5 attack and speed and special cooling charge +1 per attack. Yes, you heard me right. A breath effect and attack speed +5 if she has more speed or if the foe has 75% HP or higher. Now, I know this might sound like weird to you because she comes with Glimmer. If her first attack doesn't go through, or at least her first attack goes through, she would get countered. I know, I get that, but that's what the Refine is for. Where if at start of combat, her HP is 25% or higher, she gains +5 attack and speed during combat. And also, if she initiates whilst being within 2 spaces of an ally, and her speed is higher than foe's speed, she will attack twice. This is a player-faced Brave effect if she's within 2 spaces, and she's initiating, and she has more speed. It may seem like there's a lot of conditions in there, but consider this: a Brave effect is not easily given to a lot of units. Like for Harmonic Lascivia, she needed 10 more speed in order to get that. With Yogurt, she just needs 1 more speed, but she needs to be within 2 spaces, and she needs to be initiating. So I feel like this is really fair and all, because it gives her a total of +10 attack and speed, a breath effect, and then also the ability to quad if she meets all of those conditions. Now, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video because I'm obviously going to do more of these. Now, if you would like to see me on the platforms, you can follow me on Twitter. I am sometimes there. I normally don't tend to be on social media a lot. I don't want to talk about my life a lot. But that I just want to make people happy, or just want to make people excited for what I have in store for predictions or other things like theory crafts. Like, I have a lot in store. And you could also check my Reddit. Reddit is where I'm mostly at, or I've been mostly at. I'm still there for most of the time. I've been doing theorycraft for 2 years, and you can just check out my old stuff on Reddit. So yeah, that's right there. I also have a second channel right now where I will be doing other things. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna be doing with this channel and the other channel, but honestly, I just want to start up a second channel in case that it does come to a change, if I want to change at all. And then also, if you want to check out my latest video, it's right here. The Theorycraft video was really good. I did not expect you guys to like it so much. 4,000 views in 10 days? I gotta thank you guys so much because the support has been endless about this. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I see you guys next time. Good night.